Training to failure has become a popular strategy for building muscle and strength. However, executing it properly is easier said than done. In this video, I'll share 3 tips to help you master training to failure effectively. Training to failure means performing an exercise until you physically can't complete another repetition. Essentially, your muscles should reach a point where they can't recruit enough motor units to produce the necessary force. However, research has shown that many people stop too early and don't actually reach true failure. To help you achieve genuine muscle failure and prove those fitness researchers wrong, here are 3 valuable tips. Let's get started. First, let's break down what training to failure actually means. Conceptually, it's pretty straightforward. Training to failure means performing an exercise until you physically can't complete another repetition. At this point, your muscles are unable to recruit enough motor units to produce the necessary force for another rep. Now let's talk about the benefits. Training to failure can lead to significant muscle growth and strength gains because it pushes your muscles to their absolute limit, stimulating muscle fibers that might not get activated during less intense workouts. This kind of intensity can help you break through plateaus and achieve new levels of fitness. However, it's important to understand the risks involved if training to failure isn't done correctly. One major risk is overtraining, which can lead to prolonged soreness, fatigue, and even injury. Overtraining occurs when you don't give your muscles enough time to recover between intense workouts, leading to diminished performance and increased risk of injury. That's why it's crucial to balance the intensity of training to failure with proper recovery and technique. In the next sections, we'll dive into 3 essential tips to help you train to failure safely and effectively. Tip 1. Proper form over reps. Our first tip for training to failure is to prioritize proper form over the number of reps. This is crucial because maintaining good form ensures that you're targeting the intended muscles effectively and reducing the risk of injury. When you start to fatigue, it's easy for your form to break down, which can lead to poor performance and potential harm. Take a look at these examples. Here, we have a demonstration of proper form during a squat. Notice the controlled movement, straight back and aligned knees. Now compare this to someone pushing through fatigue with improper form, arched back, knees caving in, and uncontrolled movements. This not only reduces the effectiveness of the exercise, but also increases the risk of injury. To maintain your form, focus on technique. Use mirrors to check your alignment and consider having a workout partner provide feedback. Another helpful tip is to slow down your movements and concentrate on each phase of the exercise. This can help you stay mindful of your form even as you approach failure. Remember, it's better to do fewer reps with perfect form than to push out extra reps with poor form. Your goal should be to perform each rep as perfectly as possible, even when you're pushing your limits. This way, you'll get the most benefit from your training and minimize the risk of injury. Tip 2. Know when to stop. Our second tip is to know when to stop. Recognizing the signs that you should stop to avoid overtraining is crucial for both your progress and safety. Training to failure means pushing your muscles to their limit. But pushing too far can lead to overtraining, which has serious consequences. Some common signs of overtraining include prolonged muscle soreness that doesn't go away, chronic fatigue, and a noticeable decrease in your performance. If you're experiencing these symptoms, it's a clear sign that your body needs rest. Here's an example of how to safely end a set when you start feeling your form breaking down or if you notice any signs of overtraining. Instead of pushing through at all costs, it's better to stop, reset, and ensure you're not putting yourself at risk. Incorporating rest days into your training routine is essential. Your muscles need time to recover and rebuild, which is when growth actually happens. Listen to your body and give it the rest it needs. This will help you recover properly and continue making progress without the risk of injury. Remember, training to failure is a powerful tool, but it must be used wisely. Balancing intense workouts with adequate recovery ensures you get the benefits of training to failure without the downsides of overtraining. In the next section, we'll discuss how to use failure sparingly to maximize your results. Tip 3. Use failure sparingly. Our third tip is to use training to failure sparingly. While training to failure can be effective, it's important not to overdo it. Using this technique in every workout or for every exercise can lead to burnout, overtraining, and decreased performance over time. Training to failure should be used strategically within your overall training program. This means incorporating it periodically rather than constantly. For example, you might focus on reaching failure for specific muscle groups or exercises once or twice a week rather than every session. Here's how you can structure your workouts to include training to failure without overdoing it. By using periodization, you can plan cycles of high-intensity training followed by periods of lower intensity and active recovery. This approach helps balance the stress on your body and promotes continuous progress. Let's take a look at a balanced training program. During a high-intensity phase, you might focus on heavy lifting and training to failure for major muscle groups. In the following week, you could switch to lighter weights and higher reps. allowing your muscles to recover while still staying active. Remember, the key to success with training to failure is moderation. By strategically planning when to push to failure and when to allow for recovery, you'll maximize your gains and reduce the risk of overtraining. This balanced approach will help you stay on track and avoid plateaus. By incorporating these 3 tips, prioritizing proper form, knowing when to stop, and using failure sparingly, you'll be able to train to failure effectively and safely. This approach ensures you get the most out of your workouts while minimizing the risks. Let's wrap things up with a quick recap. By following these guidelines, you can maximize your muscle growth and strength gains while minimizing the risks associated with training to failure. Remember, the key is to balance intensity with recovery for the best result. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are looking to improve their training routine. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fitness tips and tricks.